Hi, my name's Elwin. I'm the founder of Lionheart Herbs. I'm a health consultant and I've helped many people to reach extraordinary levels of health through nutrition, through exercise, through herbal intervention, and through basically whatever it takes in order to be healthy. I'm here to share with you today.
I absolutely love this blood sugar support formula. It's so powerful, so effective. I suppose the reason why I love it so much is because I worked with so many clients who have struggled for so long, sometimes years, sometimes decades, to balance their blood sugar and have really made very little progress. While this formula, just with one bottle in the space of a few months, like 2, 3, 4 months, it can completely reverse very severe blood sugar imbalances, which is just incredible. I've included a bonus interview with the creator of this formula, which is just below here, and you can listen to that or download it as an MP3 and you're going to find out all about it. But I'm just going to give you a brief summation here. So if you have a tendency to not be able to gain muscle, or if you have a tendency to have too much fat, if you have a tendency towards diabetes or hypoglycemia or insulin resistance, if you have a tendency towards depression or any kind of mental disorders, if you have a tendency towards your energy being up and down or your emotional state being up and down, all these things and many more tend to ultimately have their root in an imbalance of blood sugar. So generally when people find that, they're advised to do two things. Either they're advised to radically reduce all their carbohydrates, which feels almost torturous to someone who has like blood sugar problems because it's so difficult, and the cravings for sweet foods or for carbohydrate foods like starches like potatoes or bread or flour products or whatever is so strong. Or the other thing that's advised is to eat like every 2 or 3 hours, or eat a high protein meal every 2 or 3 hours, which again is particularly stupid in my opinion. It's very bad for the digestion because it never gets a chance to relax. It's burning through your energy. It's really unhelpful. So both of these classic traditional approaches, although they can have some benefit for some people some of the time, ultimately they're not a very good idea. So what is at the root of this blood sugar imbalance? Well, basically it's that we have got used to eating very refined food which is very low in minerals. And the minerals that is particularly low in this instance that we're going to talk about is chromium, vanadium, manganese, zinc, and also magnesium. So when our body is really low in these minerals, then we're not able to metabolize sugar properly. Our pancreas stops producing the right amount of insulin. It produces too much, or it produces too little, or it packs up altogether, which is what we call type 2 diabetes. So a lot of the root of that is simply that we've been eating a lot of foods which are very low in these minerals that we need in order to utilize carbohydrates like sugars. So what then we start doing, so if we're eating empty calories, like say if we're eating potato chips, or if we're eating sweets, or we're eating Mars bars, or whatever, then our body is robbing our reserves of chromium, vanadium, and the other minerals I've mentioned to be able to use those carbohydrates. Now eventually those reserves run out. And that's when we start to have very serious blood sugar problems. And that's when we can have all the problems that I talked about earlier. So really, rather than kind of overfeeding ourselves, or rather than torturing ourselves by not giving ourselves anything sweet, what we really need to do more fundamentally than anything is to replace those minerals. Really simple, right? So that we're actually able to utilize carbohydrates properly again. So that's what blood sugar support gives you. I've noticed the effects have been miraculous. The creator of this formula actually healed his own father of diabetes in the space of 2 months using a very simple restricted diet for a limited period of time, and this blood sugar support and magnesium. Incredible. And do listen to the audio below to find out more about that. Incredibly powerful, incredibly effective. So whatever issue you have candida as well. That's another one where you're kind of worried about eating sweet foods and all the rest of it. Blood sugar support is nigh on miraculous.